Ladies and gentlemen, Vikings fans around the world, get ready because day one of rookie minicamp is officially in the books. We got to see a lot of new guys coming into the system, coming into practice today and showing what they can bring to this team. Right here is Ty Felton, one of their rookie wide receivers that probably is going to end up being a wide receiver 4, might be able to compete for a wide receiver 3 role within this offense within the next year or two. Obviously, you have Jefferson, Addison, and Jalen Naylor, who they also really like. But this is a guy that has a ton of potential. But in this video specifically, what I wanted to do is kind of break down some of these practice highlights, show you some news, notes, observations from today. However, before we dive in, I need you guys to do me a favor. You're going to see some names at the top left of your screen here. I need you guys to follow them on Twitter or X because without them, these videos are not possible to make. So go give them a follow on Twitter. They're going to give you all the highlights, all the news and notes right when it happens during practice. So you guys should go do that right now. With that being said, let's dive into a little bit of today's practice. Now, we did get to see a little bit of Donovan Jackson here today. Now, he is slotted to most likely be the starting left guard for this football team here in Minnesota. It is very hard to kind of tell how they're looking in these because remember, there's not contact. There's no, 11 on 11 where he's making contact with a defensive lineman or really trying to go crazy on someone, right? So we're not seeing too much out of him, but he does have the frame and the body size to switch over to left guard, and I expect to see Christian Darrisaw at left tackle, Donovan Jackson at left guard. You bring in Ryan Kelly from Indianapolis. He looks like he'll be your starting center this season. And then you also bring in Will Fries, another Indianapolis Colt coming over here already with the team chemistry with his teammate Ryan Kelly. And then you still have Brian O'Neill at right tackle. So the offensive line is starting to look really good here in Minnesota to protect J.J. McCarthy, and Donovan Jackson is one of these guys that I am super high on, and I think he's going to have a really good career, especially at left guard. I think he fits perfectly in that mold. Now, we also got to see a little bit of quarterback UDFA Max Bromer. I think he'll be a guy that probably makes the practice squad. I doubt he'll make the 53-man roster, but it is an opportunity for him. He had a pretty decent day. I believe he did throw one interception, and that was to Kobe King, a 6th-round linebacker that they drafted this year. Now, it's interesting because Kobe King is not known to be much of a drop back into coverage type of guy, but today did have an interception. Now, we do not have footage on that. These reporters aren't really allowed to film 11 on 11, 7 on 7s, just due to the fact that they don't want other teams seeing it and then being like, okay, look it, they run this play here, they can run that play there, right? So they don't really film those or aren't really allowed to film those and post them right away either. So just know that Bromer looked good outside of a couple of throws. Did have one dropped in this period as well, but did throw one interception to Kobe King. So, again, good start for Kobe King. Another player practicing here today for the Minnesota Vikings was Monaco Moss. Now, you guys are probably like, who? Well, this is actually Randy Moss's son. This dude's out here working as a wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. Now, again, I think he's a UDFA, which doesn't mean he's going to be a lock to make this roster, and he might not even make the practice squad, right? So he's obviously got a lot of work to do over the next few weeks and months as we lead into training camp to not only make a name for himself, but try to get another invite to, mandatory minicamp and training camp as well. But he's a guy that's obviously learned from his dad, Randy Moss, and, should have some potential going forward. Now, you guys remember Thaddeus Moss, I believe that was another son of Randy Moss, and he did not stay in the NFL too long. So what I'm trying to say here is limit your expectations, but understand that there is potential in this player right here. If he's got the mindset, if he's got the head on the shoulders, like this dude could be a baller. So we're going to have to pay close attention to him once we get into padding. Once the pads come on, we start seeing him in one-on-ones. That's when I really want to see him. If you kind of look at him right now, the footwork's not bad. It's really not. Honestly, looks pretty damn good. But again, you need to continue to develop that over time. However, before we deep dive any further into this video, do me a big favor, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already done so. It helps out the channel so much, right? Also, comment down below P2 if you want more of these videos every single practice. If you want me to cover every practice throughout not only rookie minicamp, but mandatory minicamp, OTAs, training camp, preseason, film analysis during the regular season. All you got to do is let me know. And lastly, most importantly, subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost anything to join the family. Like I said, got you guys covered. Let's dive back in. All right, got to see a little bit more work here from Donova Jackson. And again, I understand that this might not be the most fun to watch. I understand that, man. I mean, we're not really seeing much. Look at the lower body strength here by Donovan Jackson, by the way. This is what you want to see, especially as a guard. You need to have really good leg strength. You need to be able to drive back, open up some rushing lanes. Now, all we're doing is meeting the pad, and then second approach, we want to push. Right? We want to annihilate these guys, driving back multiple yards. I mean, great job. He's not seeing much effort retaliate in the other direction, but again, you want to be able to move these guys back and showcase that a little bit. You can see him get underneath the padding, and you can see him use those legs to drive back. Let him get under, lift upwards, right, and then drive with those legs. Nice rep there by Donovan. Now, we have a little bit more footage here that you guys can watch over as we finish off this video, but I just wanted to give a major shout to not only the reporters, but the Vikings in general for this offseason. I thought they did a phenomenal job adding talent. 3 starters, new starters at the offensive line position with Donovan Jackson, Ryan Kelly, and Will Fries. And then from there, adding a really good backup running back in Jordan Mason, who will probably even end up being a starter at some point in time because of his just potential breakaway ability. You had a backup quarterback in Sam Howell after you lose Sam Darnold to the Seattle Seahawks. You still have Brett Ripien. And then from there, Ty Felton. Rondale Moore is a guy coming off an injury, but I still have faith in that he can develop into a solid wide receiver 4, maybe 3 slot guy. Ty Felton is a guy I like at wide receiver there. You see him right there a little bit. And then defensively, I thought they did a good job as well. Now, obviously, they didn't have a ton of draft picks. I believe they had 3, 4, maybe 5 draft picks in this year's draft. And 2 of them came on the defensive side of the ball with Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins. He's more of a defensive end who will, I guess have some time to develop behind Jonathan Allen. Which will be cool to see how he, does that. You also talk about Kobe King. We talked a little bit about him earlier. He did have an interception in today's practice. A great start to his NFL career. And then you also had Javon Hargrave. You had Isaiah Rodgers, who just came off Super Bowl. Eric Wilson, Jeff Okudah. So I thought this team did a really good job this offseason picking up talent and adding to this team. But most importantly, protecting the quarterbacks. One thing you need to do in the NFL is protect your quarterback, and J.J. McCarthy coming off that season-ending injury, you need to be able to protect him. And I thought they did a really good job doing that this offseason with an entire brand-new interior of the offensive line. You maintain your tackles in Christian Darrisaw and Brian O'Neill. So I love that. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, and go follow all of the Vikings media members on X or Twitter. And I'll see you next time. Peace.